Assalamu alaikum, brothers, sisters, and friends. Welcome to this week's episode of the GDM Show, the Global Dawah Movement Show. We're here with Brother Hamza. Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum assalam rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
How are you, bro?
Very good, bro.
Excellent. Very nice to know that you're good today, mashallah.
Good to see you.
Likewise. So, today, what we're doing is we're discussing a segment of your recent lecture tour, which is called YOLO.
YOLO.
You only live once.
Yep.
Give us a bit of background. What is YOLO, basically?
YOLO basically means you only live once.
Yep.
It was a talk that I delivered as part of the Forces tour at numerous universities across the United Kingdom. It was quite successful, had great interaction with Muslims and non-Muslims. It was compassionate, intelligent, and tolerant. And YOLO basically has a philosophy, bro. And the philosophy is, this is the only life. There's no hereafter. There's no supernatural.
Yeah.
And everything is basically physical, material. It can be explained by physical processes. That, in a philosophical sense, is called philosophical naturalism, which is really the philosophy of most atheists or skeptics or secular-minded people.
Okay.
Which is that there's no supernatural, everything can be explained by physical processes.
Yeah. We're just accidents, basically.
Well, yeah, we're accidents and we're meaningless.
Yeah. Excellent. What a great start to the show, isn't it?
Yeah, I know, it's quite depressing.
Okay, so here's what we're going to do. We'll start a new format. We're going to have a 5-minute discussion.
Yep.
We're going to cover a certain aspect of your talk, which is which is hope, basically, right? So let's go straight into that. I'm going to start the timer. Go for it.
Okay, so basically what I want to focus on is hope. And the reason I want to focus on hope is because it's quite intuitive. Now, this is not an intellectual reason why you should accept the hereafter, but let's start with this, and other shows we could do basically other concepts. Now, what defines human beings is that we have a sense of hope, right? What does hope mean? Hope basically means that you have an expectation for a good outcome. You have an expectation for something good to happen. This is quite significant because according to YOLO, or philosophical naturalism, you can't have any sense of ultimate hope.
Yep.
Now you may think, well, I live a great life. Well, that doesn't mean anything, because you may have a good life for 50 or 60 years, but at the end, where hope counts, when you're ill on your deathbed, when most of us may die of cancer according to the statistics, when you're injected with morphine just to stay alive, when you can't even take care of your own self, where is the hope where it counts?
There's nothing there at that point.
Where is the hope when it counts? We're just going to become worm buffet according to a YOLO philosophy. Intuitively, does that make sense?
No, it doesn't.
This sense of hope that we have inside us is like a metaphysical sign. It's a signpost, it's a spiritual signifier to something in the hereafter. And there's no hope here. And that's why the older atheists, I have a little bit more respect for them, because they were genuine.
Yeah.
They were honest with their beliefs. If you read Nietzsche or Arthur Schopenhauer, they had a philosophy and followed through with their philosophy.
Yeah.
But today is kind of neo-atheists. Not all atheists are the same, by the way. I'm talking about the neo-aggressive atheists. They have a certain philosophy of philosophical naturalism, but they basically don't conclude what they should conclude intellectually, which is that I don't deserve intellectually to have a sense of hope. Now, emotionally and spiritually you do, because we believe all human beings are created with a certain nature to have these feelings. But intellectually, you're not justified to say, yes, of course I have ultimate hope. No, you don't. Because you're just physical. You're an accident waiting to die. That's perfect.
Don't you think sometimes they just deliberately don't want to go into this area of discussion?
Because they suspend their thinking, because they're engaged with what we call the dunya, the empty, ephemeral aspects of the world from a spiritual perspective. And not only that, they have so many things going on in their mind. They have Twitter, Facebook, games, women, dancing, going, excessive entertainment. Entertainment's fine, but excessive entertainment, this hedonistic culture, or even sometimes they're just basically immersed in their own ego, this egocentricity that we have. This culture, one thinker said, is the celebration of the ego. What I look like on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, the kind of false perception about who I am. I focus on that all the time. We focus on money. So all of these things cloud our minds. But I suggest if you spend a few minutes at home without a Facebook, without phone, without any technology, you would basically realize that, there's some very important questions in my life. But I just want to go back to Arthur Schopenhauer and the atheists that I respect, because they followed through with the logical implications of their thinking. And they knew if they were philosophical naturalists that denied the hereafter, they denied any purpose, they denied spirituality, then they knew there was no ultimate hope. And Arthur Schopenhauer, in his book on the evils and suffering of the world, what did he say? He said we should not call each other Monsieur, Mein Herr, or Sir. We should call each other Soci Malorum, companion de miseres, my fellow sufferer. Because we're going to end up in suffering. And after that, there's no hope, we're just one buffet. Another powerful thing, bro. Absolutely. How long do we have left?
You have literally a minute now.
Good. Another powerful thing is, where is the sense of an ultimate hope for justice? Hoping for ultimate justice. There is none.
That's
according
a big,
to
big problem.
Exactly. According to the YOLO philosophy, philosophical naturalism, there is no ultimate hope for justice. Why? Take for example the Jewish lady in 1940s Nazi Germany. She's seen her husband get killed, 4 of her sons were shot in the head. She's now in the queue waiting for her evil fate. She's going to be pushed into the gas chamber. She's going to die.
Yes.
According to YOLO, philosophical naturalism, she becomes worm buffet. Where's her ultimate justice? Where's even the hope for ultimate justice? There is none. But you may think, oh, but we took them to task, we beat them, we defeated the Nazis, we took them to account at the Nuremberg trials, X, Y, and Z. But that doesn't mean anything. That's justice for us. What about for her?
Nothing.
She's dead. She's a rearrangement of molecules and energy. So how can you give that sense of justice to someone that now is dead?
Yeah.
Do you see my point?
Yes.
But from the Islamic point of view, on the Day of Judgment, everything's going to be sorted out, bro.
Yep.
The director's cut.
Yep.
Everyone's going to see the screen. And some of us are going to be found wanting. And some of us are going to be found being immersed in God's grace and mercy. So the point is, there's going to be justice. No one's going to be harmed.
Yes.
Even an atom's weight.
Yep.
Because Allah is the most just. Allah is the most merciful, the intensely merciful. People are going to be enveloped in this justice and mercy.
Yep.
So from that perspective, we've got nothing to worry about.
Yeah.
And this gives us hope. Because in Islam, we're people of hope, bro.
Yeah.
And it's quite interesting that many atheists don't conclude this, what I've just said about YOLO and philosophical naturalism, which is a good thing, because it's quite depressing. Because we believe that Allah has given us a certain nature to hold on to these kind of feelings.
Of course, it keeps you going.
Yeah, but if they really thought...
Our time's up. We're going to carry on for another minute or two.
No, that's fine. I think we're done.
Yeah.
According to YOLO and philosophical naturalism, you have no ultimate hope. You have no ultimate hope for justice. That's not a rational proof for hereafter.
Yeah.
But intuitively and even existentially, what it means to exist, it's very convincing.
And I think loads of people are waking up. Right, they stop for a moment, they switch off from Facebook, Twitter, and all these places, and they stop and think, and they realize the realities you're talking about. Anyone watching this video right now that's off this disposition, you can go to our previous videos on the channel where we do talk about Islam, what it has to offer, what Islam brings, what it gives you as a human being, and you guys can benefit from that. I'm sure in next week's show we can maybe go into discussing more of what Islam offers us.
Yeah, I mean, just to end on this, this is why if you believe properly and internalize this belief, you could never despair.
Yes.
Because Allah says in the Quran, we should never despair of His mercy, and hope is linked to His mercy. Only those who actively reject the truth, only those who reject the truth, despair of God's mercy.
Yeah. MashaAllah. Jazakallah khair, Brother Hamza. Till next week. Assalamu alaikum. Assalamu alaikum, brothers, sisters, friends. Welcome to GDN, the Global Dawah News. We're here with Brother Salahuddin. Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum.
How are you? Good. Very good. So what's happening globally with the Dawah this week, bro?
Yeah, some amazing stories this week from across the globe. One story I really want to focus on is a country which is in Southeast Asia, known as the Philippines.
The Philippines, yes.
Right? It's a well-known country. So there's this amazing story regarding a sheikh, a well-known sheikh, Sheikh Ed Al-Qarni.
Yes.
And I hope I'm pronouncing that
Inshallah,
correctly.
we have pronounced that correctly, yes.
And so this sheikh, he's well known because he's written many books. The most famous of them, a book called Don't Be Sad.
Yep.
Right, bestseller across the world. And he was in the Philippines. He was due to give a talk, a lecture, and unfortunately, some people tried to assassinate him and tried to kill him to the point where some of the people weren't too sure if he actually survived the shooting. But alhamdulillah, he survived.
Alhamdulillah.
And
may Allah give the sheikh quick recovery, inshallah. May Allah give him shifa, inshallah.
Ameen, ameen. And this sheikh, he's very active. And so when he was in the hospital, he's being treated, his work didn't stop. he was continuously doing dawah, and from the reports what we've seen, and we'll put up some pictures, that at least 20 people have accepted shahada in the hospital while he's there recovering, being treated on.
Wow.
So that's amazing.
It's powerful, bro. It's like the last thing you want to think. It's amazing because when something like that happens, and I believe he's shot 3 or 4 times, I don't even know, because there's a video on YouTube and you see there's people coming in and they're taking the shahada with the sheikh.
Yes.
And it's amazing because one of the last things you think about when you're in a situation like that is to benefit others because you're worried about your own health.
Absolutely.
But this just shows when you're connected to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, right? And when you put Allah first and His deen first, you want to take every opportunity of your living life, of your breathing life to convey this message.
Yes.
And to call people to the truth. And just the video, just watching it, like I've seen some clips of it and the people are coming in, they're taking the shahada with the sheikh. It's amazing, subhanAllah.
And that's it. You know,
sorry, just the last point. It's just the most beautiful thing is, brothers and sisters, something to take away, is that there is literally no excuse or no right time, right? Whenever you can, wherever you can, just convey the message, inshallah.
Yeah.
It's very powerful.
Just be sincere, convey the message, and Allah will do the rest.
Yes.
You see, so this is an amazing story. Shows us, look, just get involved, be sincere, just go out there and convey the message, and Allah will guide the people if they're sincere, regardless of the location or the situation.
This is a hospital room.
Yes.
In a hospital bed.
And this is a sign from Allah for all of us for us to step up and do the dawah.
So may Allah give the sheikh a quick recovery, inshallah.
Yes.
Other than that, what else is happening?
Yeah, so I just wanted to focus on a little bit on the Philippines itself. We know it's a small island in the sort of Southeast Asia. So just to give you a bit of the demographics, 90% of Philippines is Christian. And that's interesting because if you look at the surrounding area, we know Malaysia and all these sort of other islands, a lot of
lots of
Muslim influence, Indonesia, right? But what happened was Islam reached there in the 14th century. But unfortunately, the Spanish arrived 2 centuries later, and through their dawah, their missionary work, they basically converted the whole island into a Christian sort of state. So the Muslims now are roughly between 5 to 10%.
Wow,
so it's a small minority. But I just want to highlight some of the organizations that are doing dawah there. Furqan Project, Motorized Dawah Team. And this is interesting. The sort of dawah they do, they focus on sort of drivers, right? Taxi drivers. They give them talks. They also do a lot of door-to-door dawah and street dawah. Just go out there, convey the message, and people are accepting. If you go to their Facebook page, you can see they're regularly doing these activities. And as a result of that, people are accepting the message of Islam.
Okay, excellent, bro. I think that's fantastic. I think we're out of time pretty much, but I guess the last take-home message is there's no right place, there's no right time. If you're sincere, you're doing it for the sake of Allah, just do it wherever you can, whenever you can. And there's many different ways. Taxi dawah, street dawah, whatever it is, right? And it's happening in places across the world. Philippines as of today, and inshallah next week we'll come to you with another place in the world. Some new dawah activities, inshallah. So until next time, Assalamu alaikum.